Okay. Um, I don't know. I think I, I don't know. I just gotta say this. Um, I'm sorry. I woke up and I haven't been able to sleep the last 2 nights. I had a dream last night, and I'll put that on later. But this one, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna put on, or I'm gonna record right now. Um. Okay, my daughter was staying the night somewhere, and okay, my daughter was staying the night somewhere, and somehow I was gonna go stay with her at this house, or go visit her, or go something like that. And I walked across a flooded street, but it was like a street, but it was like a bridge that connected to islands of cities or houses, cities they had. And it wasn't like, I don't know. So I lived on the main area, and the house she was staying at was the just a smaller area, but it was another island. So you walked across this like street, but it was like it wasn't a bridge, but it was a bridge, and it was like a street. It wasn't wide. It was like a path. It was not wide, but it was narrow. I don't know. And it was flooded, and when I went across, it was kind of flooded, like maybe to your calf a little bit or something. And so I ended up in the house, and I remember there was a dog, a pet. They were upstairs sleeping. I was getting ready, or something was going on, and I was talking to the parents because I kind of knew the parents, and I don't remember that much about that, but they were like, "Oh no, why don't you just stay the night, or continue to stay the night, and then we'll get up in the morning, or we'll get up in a little bit, and then go have breakfast. There's this place, and they have a breakfast restaurant that is really good." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that sounds good," or whatever. I was like, and I realized I had to go back and get something or do something. So they went to bed, and I let myself out of the house somehow. The front door was locked. I let myself out of the garage, and I think that's when I saw some things in the garage, like that. It wasn't even just like it was their garage, like it was stolen, they were hidden. It wasn't anything like that. It was just there was stuff on top of boxes that I remember seeing that used to be mine when I was younger, or Peyton's when she was younger. I'm sorry. Or I don't know. Okay. So my daughters. I don't know. Okay, so I remember somehow leaving the house and going somewhere. I don't remember where I went. And then when I came back to the house, my husband and son were with me, and my son's friend maybe, or something. And I walked like I was going up to the front door to get back in, and I had like go under tree branches and around like a table and a chair, and like a fountain, and there was bugs kind of everywhere. And I was like, ooh, like spider or webs or something, just bugs. And I was like, wait, I can't get in because the front door, and I don't want to wake anyone up. And I was like, well, maybe the back side door or whatever, when I came through the garage thing. And so I came, and I kind of but maneuvered my way back through the front area. And I went to go back in the house, and then realized I just couldn't get back in. So I was like, okay, I shouldn't have left, or I should have unlocked the door. I don't know. And it wasn't that it was nighttime, it was daytime. But my early morning, it was just daytime. It was early, the sun was up. And then, so I started coming back out of the garage. And I think my husband was watching me or something, standing outside the garage. And I was like, well, I don't want to forget this stuff. I need to get the things that I can remember. Like, not that I can remember, but that are there. And so I started reaching on top of these boxes. It was all level but higher, and there was things like set out, like organized in rows. And it was things I remember, but I really don't. And something about, I started grabbing them. Okay. And one of them I grabbed with my right hand, and I laid it across my left arm. It was like figurines, but dolls, but figurines on some of them. And I grabbed like 3 or 4 things. One of them I remember was like an angel, like doll, about maybe 1.5 feet big or something, and laid it across my left arm. And then one was like Jesus or something, but it was like a doll figurine, and I laid it across, and there was like 2 other things I can't remember. And I remember going, oh, I really need these, because I decorated my daughter's room with them, or I had my daughter's room with them. And I grabbed a couple of things, like 4 or 5 things, and my husband was like, okay, yelling to my son, you're gonna have a lot to carry back, or a couple things carry back, kind of being like, haha, and for your mom or something. And then I kind of climbed down off what I was standing on, and I remember there was like in the driveway by the garage was like a moving truck or some kind of truck, and maybe my husband was sitting in it for some reason, or I went up to the window of the driver's side of the moving truck or something, like around the back. And I was coming around the back, I remembered thinking the boxes had something to do, like they were a friend I used to have as a child growing up, all the way up to high school, so kindergarten all the way up. She was one of my best friends. I remember thinking, how did she get the boxes, or why did she get the boxes, or something, and thinking she was going to sell them or something, and something about money. Not malicious, but she had them for some reason, and that some of these boxes, or the box or something, was my mom's, and something she had been looking for, because the boxes at the bottom of them had maybe some old jewelry in them, like rings, and the rings were my mom's. So some of those boxes weren't mine, they were like my mom's. But the problem is that my friend and my mom are both in heaven, or they've passed away. And my friend has been gone maybe 13 years, and my mom's been gone like 4 years almost. I'm sorry, I'm tired. I should know that right away, but okay, so I remember thinking not too long ago, it's been 3 years. I don't like to keep track of certain things. It's not horrible, but I don't like keeping track of. I just know she's gone. I'll see her one day. So yeah, I don't like thinking about that. So I don't know how both of them, somehow they both, it both worked their way into my dream. Okay. And then we started walking back. And when we were walking back, we crossed that flooded area again. And the flooded area was not as flooded. So when we started, okay, so when we started walking back across that flood street area, um, it wasn't as flooded. And so it was kind of like, sorry, my hair, oh gosh, it was kind of like the flood had gone down and it was only a couple of inches, and I ran ahead of my son and my husband just a little bit, and I was kind of playing like a kid in the water, like pushing my feet forward and trying to get the water to splash up, and like, you know, shuffling them and things like that, just playing around. And I was like, oh, there's not that much water to do that, because I was like really wanting to play around in it. And my son started running up behind me and beside me, playing around as well. My husband was further back, just further back from us, just walking. And it was like a cobblestone street. I think just gray bricks, like bricks, cobblestone, like a gray brick street underneath the waters. And okay, so I then started waking up, like tossing, because I had to, well, you know, middle of the night, had to use the bathroom. And I started waking up, and I had rolled over. And as I woke up and rolled over, I had a real quick glimpse, or I was given like a real quick glimpse or vision, and it pertained to a dream that I had 2 nights ago. Wait. A couple nights ago. Yeah, a couple nights ago. Maybe like 4 nights ago. Okay. And I saw some things in the sky in that dream, and they were in a line. Some of the things were in a line. And one of the things was like a red, oh gosh, not red. It was like a golden firework that was in a circle, and it was a circle, and then all of a sudden it would go and take off, and it would like make the circle. And so it reminded me of the gold fireworks that are real sparkly and pretty in the sky, and it was a thin, like circle, like halo circle. But then it reminded me of fire, right? And then underneath that was a clock face, and the clock face had 2 rows of numbers. One of the numbers was, well, I said there were 2 rows of numbers. The clock face underneath that in the sky had Roman numerals, big Roman numerals, and then under that had some other kind of row of things underneath it. Okay, and the clock face had the hands were like black scrolls, and they were like going around really quick, like the seconds was going around like that, and the hands were going around like that, and they were just not that you couldn't see them so quick, but they were just like going. And it's like they didn't know where to stop. Okay, in that dream. And then underneath that was like a pendulum, like a triangle pendulum, and it was pushing things left and right, but it was wasn't pushing things. That's what it reminded me of. That it was like pushing things, but like it was pushing things to the left or right, like choosing a side or something, because it was split into different designated areas, like 2 different sections of this triangle. So you had a triangle, and it was split. You could see 2 different colors, and then the pendulum was, instead of like, okay, kind of like a metronome that goes like this on a music, like piano, keeping, you know, but it was doing this way. Okay. So I saw that again, and that was in my dream, and it was like, that's all like, it was really close up. So it was almost like a, anyway, it was really close up because I just saw the sky and I saw those three things really close. And it was kind of like, Jesus put like 3 sentences in front of all of that. Like one at a time, kind of doom, doom, doom. And I don't, because I was waking up, I don't remember the first sentence or the last sentence, but the middle of it kind of bulged out, kind of like came out in bigger, like, font. Okay. And, I read it really quick, and he said it, and he said, "It is time. It's time. It's time." And I realized that the "it's time" was written over the clock. There was something written over the fire circle, the fireworks circle, and there was something written over the pendulum thing. Okay. And he said, "It's time." And I woke up and I was like, "It's time." But I didn't say it out loud. It's like my head said it again. And then my head, like I was saying, or he said, "Harpazo." Harpazo. And I was like, Harpazo. Now here's the deal. To be completely honest, okay, I know about the Archer. I know about times I talk about, like, I talk about it. I talk about Jesus coming. I talk about the gospel. I talk about church. I talk about sins being forgiven, or sins and things. And so I know about everything like that, okay? And I've heard people, or seen and read things of people putting like Maranatha and things like that. It's not something that I write on. I probably have said it one time, like Maranatha. Okay, so I know of that word. Okay, and harpazo, it's not something I hear all the time, but I do know there's a YouTuber that I've watched little things on, like not fully, but I just started watching him a couple of months ago. I'm not even watching him, like I don't seek him out, but when I see him, and I don't know, but he talks about like the 9th of Av, and like the new wine, and the Feast of Trumpets and things like that, and he says harpazo, and I know he says harpazo. So I do know he says harpazo, but I never say it. I really never say Maranatha, but I definitely don't say harpazo. And it's going to sound really, I'm just letting you know, because I don't, being full, like, letting you know everything here, okay? I've heard it from him, but I don't say it. And I don't think I've ever said it in any of my recordings or written it, because in fact, I just don't. And truthfully, it's not something I've looked up, like where harpazo comes from. I don't know if he's ever explained where it comes from when I've watched, or maybe I haven't finished a lot of, or something that I've seen, but I've heard him say it on his videos, but I don't really even know where it comes from or why. Like, what's the meaning? I only took it that it was like Maranatha, like harpazo, like catching up, maybe, is the way I took it, like meeting in the sky, harpazo. I don't know, the same thing, right? I'm thinking, I don't know why there's a different way to say it. I don't know. Okay, so for me to wake up and read and that thing go, "It's time," and then harpazo, I don't know why that would be the word being said, but it was harpazo. Okay. I just wanted to get I just wanted to record that. I needed to record that. I didn't want to forget. I just wanted to record this. I love y'all. I'm going back to bed. I don't know what time it is. I'll look and I'll post it underneath. Love y'all.